There are moments in WWE that are burned into your brain forever. The glass shattering for Stone Cold, the lights going out for The Undertaker, the Shield marching through the crowd, three guys you'd never heard of who were about to run the business. These are the game-changing debuts, the ones that reset the board and make you remember exactly where you were when you saw them. They're the moments that make history. What you're about to hear is the story of the most shocking, the most dominant, and the most important debut of the modern era. A debut that could crown a new apex predator in the women's division when no one sees it coming. A debut that would bring a level of terrifying, legitimate martial arts to the squared circle that has never been seen before. This is the story of how Arissa LeBrock, the daughter of an action movie legend, makes WWE history. But here's the twist. This historic moment, it hasn't happened yet. But it absolutely needs to. This isn't just a fantasy, it's a prediction. This is the blueprint for the single most impactful arrival the company could book. We're going to break down the real-life story of the woman who seems destined for greatness, and then we're going to script the unprecedented debut that would put the entire world on notice. To see the future, you have to look at the past. The name LeBrock carries a heavy legacy, one forged in Hollywood. Her mother is Kelly LeBrock, the supermodel and actress who was the dream woman of the 1980s. Her father is Steven Seagal, a man whose name is synonymous with a specific brand of bone-crunching, Aikido-fueled action that defined a whole generation of movies. Being born from that union is like winning the genetic lottery. You get charisma, star power, and a name that opens doors. But that name also casts a colossal shadow, one that threatens to block out anything you do on your own. For years, Arissa LeBrock navigated this, building a successful career as a plus-size model, appearing on television, and carving out her own identity. But the warrior spirit was always there. She didn't just get her father's name. She got his passion for martial arts, training in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. The call of combat sports, of that one-on-one proving ground, was too loud to ignore. And that call reportedly led her to the biggest stage of them all, World Wrestling Entertainment. The story goes that Arissa was invited for a WWE tryout at the Performance Center in Orlando. This was it, the golden ticket. She had everything a promoter could want, the look, the lineage, the legitimate combat background. But then, disaster struck. She suffered a significant injury that put her dream on hold. For all intents and purposes, the dream was dead on arrival. This is where most people would quit. They'd go back to the comfortable life their famous name gave them. But Arissa LeBrock isn't most people. She fell into what she described as a dark place, her dream shattered. Yet from that darkness, a new path appeared. A phone call was made to a legend, a man who knows a thing or two about legacy and reinvention, Dustin Rhodes. She joined the Rhodes Wrestling Academy and, under the tutelage of Goldust himself, began to rebuild from the ground up. This wasn't about celebrity. This was about paying dues far from the bright lights of WWE. Reports from March 2023 say she made her in-ring debut at a student showcase. That night, she wasn't just Steven Seagal's daughter, she was a professional wrestler. She had faced the abyss and walked out a warrior, forged in fire and ready for war. And that is the woman who is now ready to take over WWE. So how does it happen? How does this real story of resilience become a history-making WWE moment? It can't be some pre-taped vignette. It can't be a quiet introduction on NXT. It has to be a lightning strike. Shocking, unforgettable, and totally decisive. Picture this. The main event of Monday Night Raw. The Women's World Champion, the unstoppable Rhea Ripley, has just won another brutal title defense. She's in the center of the ring, belt held high, the very picture of dominance. She grabs a mic, dripping with arrogance, and declares there's no one left, nobody in the back, nobody in the world who can touch her. And then, the lights go out. A single ominous sound hits. Not a theme song, just a feeling. When the lights come back up, she is there. Standing on the entrance ramp, cloaked in shadow, is Arissa LeBrock. The crowd murmurs, a mix of confusion and recognition. The commentators are stunned silent. Is that Steven Seagal's daughter? She walks to the ring, not with the swagger of a sports entertainer, but with the chilling calm of a predator. No smiling, no playing to the crowd. Her eyes are locked on Ripley. Rhea, always the aggressor, scoffs. She waves her into the ring, ready to make an example of this rookie. The bell rings, and what happens next is something the WWE Universe has never seen. It's not a wrestling match. It's a dismantling. Rhea charges, and Arissa doesn't meet force with force. She uses Ripley's own momentum against her. With fluid, almost invisible movements, she redirects the champion's attack. It's pure, uncut Aikido. A wrist lock here, an elbow hyperextension there. Every move is precise, efficient, and agonizing. The crowd goes from intrigued to watching in a state of awe and horror. They've never seen a champion, especially one as dominant as Rhea Ripley, look so completely helpless. Rhea is a bulldozer, but Arissa is a surgeon, taking her apart piece by piece. The champ can't land a single big move. Every attempt is just another chance for Arissa to apply another joint lock, to target another pressure point. It's cinematic. It's terrifying. It's real. This isn't a performance. It's an execution. The end comes fast. Rhea makes one last, desperate lunge. Arissa sidesteps, catches Rhea's arm, and twists it in a way that's sickening to watch. She doesn't use a familiar move like an armbar or a kimura. She just applies pressure with her thumbs to a nerve cluster in the wrist and shoulder. Rhea Ripley doesn't have time to get to the ropes. Her body screams, and she taps out frantically, an instinctual surrender. The bell rings. The arena is dead silent for a second, processing the impossible. Then it erupts. Arissa LeBrock stands over the fallen champion, her expression unchanged. The referee, looking just as stunned as everyone else, hands her the Women's World Championship. In her debut match, in under 5 minutes, she hasn't just beaten the most dominant woman in the division, she has broken her. So I have to ask you, what would your reaction be if you saw that on your screen? Is this the history-making debut a talent like Arissa LeBrock deserves? And after a debut like that, who in the world would be brave enough to step up to her next? Let us know your dream opponents in the comments. And if you love fantasy booking that respects wrestling history while looking to the future, do us a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more. A debut like that doesn't just create a new star, it creates a new reality. The entire women's division is instantly turned upside down. It's the same effect as when Brock Lesnar came back and demolished John Cena. It's a hard reset. Every other woman in the locker room, from Becky Lynch to Bianca Belair to Charlotte Flair, is immediately on notice. Their power bombs, their high-flying moves, it all looks outdated against this new, deadly martial arts style. How do you game plan for an opponent who doesn't play by the established rules of pro wrestling? How do you scout someone whose style is built on pure, legitimate combat? The storyline potential is off the charts. Do you see a master strategist like Becky Lynch try to solve the puzzle of Aikido? Do you get a powerhouse like Bianca Belair who tries to just overwhelm her with strength, only to be systematically broken down? The intrigue is built in. Arissa LeBrock becomes the final boss of the women's division on night 1. And then there's the shadow of her father. The story would be filled with questions. Was Steven Seagal training her in secret? Is he the mastermind behind this takeover? That element adds a layer of Hollywood mystique, blurring the lines between sports, entertainment, and action movies. It brings the kind of mainstream attention WWE always craves. This wouldn't just be another wrestling storyline. It would be a cultural moment. Arissa LeBrock wouldn't be a wrestler who knows some martial arts. She would be a martial artist who has chosen the wrestling ring as her dojo. Her reign would be defined by technical, brutal, and thrilling matches. She wouldn't just be the champion, she would be the new standard. Legacy is a complicated thing. It can be a gift or it can be a cage. Arissa LeBrock was born with one of the most famous legacies in the world, a mix of beauty and raw power. Her real-life journey has already shown she has the heart of a true fighter, overcoming a major injury and doubt to forge her own path in the grueling world of pro wrestling. The story we've laid out today, this fantasy of a historic, division-shattering debut, isn't yet a reality. But all the pieces are there. The character is defined. The backstory is written in legit blood, sweat, and tears. The skill set is unlike anything the company has ever seen. The question is no longer if Arissa LeBrock will make it to WWE. The question is, when she arrives, will the company have the guts to pull the trigger on a debut so bold, so shocking, and so decisive that it changes the entire industry? They should, because in a world of sports entertainment, sometimes the most powerful thing you can be is real. And Arissa LeBrock is the real deal.